The Lord continued, "You shall not circulate a false report. Do not put your hand with the wicked to be an unrighteous witness. You shall not follow a crowd to do evil, nor shall you testify in a dispute so as to turn aside after many to pervert justice. You shall not show partiality to a poor man in his dispute. If you meet an enemy's ox or his donkey going astray, you shall surely bring it back to him again. If you see the donkey of one who hates you lying under its burden, and you would refrain from helping it, you shall surely help him with it. You shall not pervert the judgment of your poor in his dispute. Keep yourself far from a false matter. Do not kill the innocent and righteous, for I will not justify the wicked. And you shall take no bribe, for a bribe blinds the discerning and perverts the words of the righteous. Also, you shall not oppress a stranger, for you know the heart of a stranger, because you were strangers in the land of Egypt. 6 years you shall sow your land and gather its produce. But in the 7th year you shall let it rest and lie fallow, that the poor of your land may eat, and what they leave the beasts of the field may eat. In like manner you shall do with your vineyard and with your olive grove. 6 days you shall do your work, and on the 7th day you shall rest, that your ox and your donkey may rest, and the son of your female servant, and the stranger may be refreshed. And in all that I have said to you, be circumspect, and make no mention of the name of other gods, nor let it be heard on your mouth." My name's Arthur, and I thank you for joining me as we share together Exodus chapter 23, verses 1 to 13. As Moses continues to explore the interpretation of the Ten Commandments. The Ten Commandments were given at the beginning of chapter 20 of Exodus, and for the next few chapters he has discussed the implications of those commandments as they relate to various practical matters, interpreting the judgments that arise from those commandments, that the people may know how they should live. So, the commandment was, "You shall not bear false witness against your neighbour." And in verses 1 to 9, he discusses various applications of that. So, "You shall not circulate a false report. Do not put your hand with the wicked to be an unrighteous witness." The law required matters to be assessed by judges, and the judges would seek the testimony of witnesses to ascertain the truth. We must speak the truth and take the side of righteousness, no matter where it leads, as he shall discuss. But you shall not follow a crowd to do evil. Sometimes to speak the truth brings injury to the innocent. I think of the example of the 2 spies in Jericho. Rahab was directly asked, "These spies came to you. Where are they?" And she told a bald lie. She said, "They were here, but just as it was dark, as the gate was being shut, they left the city. Maybe you should chase after them, and you should catch them." But the truth was, she had hidden them up on her roof. And so she misdirected those guards. She told a lie. But there's no judgment on her. She is blessed. She is saved in Israel. Now, one can say she hadn't learnt the 10 Commandments. But the issue here is that she chose righteousness and to defend the spies rather than to join with the wicked who were opposed to God. And so, "You shall not follow a crowd to do evil, nor shall you testify in a dispute so as to turn aside after many to pervert justice." In another setting, the crowd, the majority, may want vengeance, may want someone to blame, but the evidence against the accused is only circumstantial, and so you cannot go with the crowd. You must not take partiality for or against a poor man in his dispute. Sometimes we might feel sorry for a person and be lenient. Sometimes we might just take the party of the rich man because the other man's a poor man. No, we must always speak truth and not bear false witness. An interesting application is, if you meet your enemy's ox or donkey going astray, you shall surely bring it back to him. Here, the false witness would be to pretend that you didn't recognize the animal, just to go on. But no, you know the animal belongs to a person who makes life a misery for you. He's your enemy. He is opposed to you, but still you do good to him. And the New Testament emphasizes that's our responsibility. For vengeance is mine, I will repay. If the ox is going astray, you kind of are not confronted with your enemy. But now you're walking down the road and your enemy's donkey is lying under its burden. He needs help. Will you help him? The commandment says you shall not bear false witness against your neighbour. Surely you will help him, help your neighbour, help your enemy with the donkey under its burden. Because the Lord is concerned with the donkey, and one never knows whether you might win your neighbour over by being good and kind to him. Again, the issue of the poor is raised. Do not pervert the judgment of your poor in his dispute. Before it was, you shall not show partiality to the poor man in his dispute. But now we're not perverting the judgment of your poor in his dispute. Both sides of the coin. For we must speak the truth and not bear false witness, or a respecter of persons. You shall keep yourself far from a false matter. Do not kill the innocent and righteous, for I will not justify the wicked. Remember the story of Ahab? He wanted Naboth's vineyard to make a vegetable garden. It was just beside his palace. It was a nice location. It was a good plot of land. But Naboth wouldn't sell it to him because it was their family heritage. And so Ahab got sulky. And Jezebel, his wife, said, "Why are you sulky? Naboth won't sell me the vineyard." Poor me. And so she says, "Don't worry." And she got some men to bear false witness against Naboth, accusing him of having blasphemed against God. No, we are not to bear false witness against our neighbour. We are to speak the truth, for God will not justify the wicked. That phrase is interesting as well. No man is justified by his righteous works. God justifies because of his mercy. But a person who is deliberately going against God will never be justified. And so you shall take no bribe, because a bribe blinds the discerning and perverts the words of the righteous. And again, we're not to take the side against the stranger as opposed to the local, because the Jews had been strangers in Egypt. So the commandment means don't be a respecter of persons. Don't favour the crowd against the individual. Don't favour the rich against the poor or the poor against the rich. Do not favour the local versus the stranger. Do not favour your friends over your enemies. In the story of Corrie ten Boom, we had her family hiding Jews in Harlem during the Second World War. Their house was a rather higgledy-piggledy house, and they were able to build some secret rooms in there. And Corrie's sister Betsy felt she could not tell a lie. And so when the German soldiers came in and said, "Where are the Jews you are hiding?" what was she to do? She said, "They're under the table." The soldiers looked under the table but didn't see them, because they were under the floor, under the table. But the commandment was not a simple, "Thou shalt not lie." It was, "You shall not bear false witness against your neighbour." And in that case, to say where the people were hidden would be to testify against them, causing their death. The New Testament says, speak the truth in love.